it all. Pretty good. Pretty.
Pretty
good.
good.
It's
Been
pretty,
what,
pretty,
3 weeks
good.
now?
It's been a
Almost.
while.
Been a
Yeah.
while.
It's been a while.
And I think we are starting to overstay our welcome on season 6. I think we gotta.
I think
This is-
this is our season finale, and we're going to take a little bit of a break. Jan, we were like, hey, Jan, are you going to join us? And he just texted back, Canada.
Canada.
I'm like, cool. So we're in Canada. Didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Canada.
I have an idea. What if we
Yes.
create a Trek to the Holodeck calendar, and we throw our recordings on it?
Yeah, that's.
And then we can.
I'm surprised we've
RSVP
gotten
to 'em.
this far without having one of them.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
That really just blew my brains out. Holy shit. We've been doing this podcast for what, 5 years at this point? And
Yeah.
that's
It's been
just
like 4
good.
years. Yeah,
It's
been like 4
coming up
years.
on 4 years, I think. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we still haven't watched all the holodeck content. That's insane.
No, and I just finished the new season of Prodigy, and there's more holodeck content in the new season of Prodigy.
It's gotta stop. It's gotta
We've
stop.
been doing this, and we just recently switched to bi-monthly. But we were doing it weekly, and yeah, we took breaks and we took time off here and there. But like
Sure.
for the most part, we were doing close to, I would say, 40 to 45 episodes a year
That's crazy.
for 4 years almost.
Yeah.
And we still haven't hit all of the holodeck episodes.
No.
That's how integral the holodeck is to Star Trek. If
People
don't
try
wanna
and
admit
write-
it,
They try
Yeah.
and write the holodeck off, but it's there, baby. It's
they
there.
do, but it's there. It'll always be there.
Yeah.
God damn. Well, this week we're not even watching a Star Trek episode.
No.
We're watching an Orville episode.
Which has the holodeck's grandchild in it, the simulator.
The
Orvs.
simulator.
The simulator.
They couldn't come up with like a more fun name than just the simulator.
I'd say it's the holodeck. Well, unless we're saying the holosuite is the holodeck's child.
Well, because they're not allowed. I don't think they're allowed to use the word holodeck.
Yeah, but couldn't they call it like the simul deck or the
Yeah.
something deck?
I kind
Sure.
of love how they've just simplified all of these like ridiculous names in Star Trek to like the most basic of dumb shit, because if we were to make it to that point, like that's what it would be called. It'd just be this
Yeah.
really dumb, like, I'm gonna go with simulator.
I don't know, man. I think if we were to make it to that point at this point, it would be it'd be some weird
It'd be
brand name.
like the Muscutron.
Yeah,
It'd be like the Holotron by Google.
the,
Yeah.
the live world. I'm gonna hop in the live world or
Yeah.
some weird shit like that.
The
Be very
live
sad.
world.
Lordy.
Cyber simulator. It'll be like X simulator. It's got to be
God.
Elon. It's going to be Elon brand. That's
Oh
what.
God, please
I just
save
wanna-
us from Elon.
No, we will never be saved. We'll never be saved. The episode we watched today was Lasting Impressions, Season
Lasting
2, Episode 11, if I'm not mistaken.
Which is great. It is great because it was a very lighthearted episode. It is a very callback to we're going to be doing a bunch of nothing this week, and I liked it.
Yep, it's very good. It's very good.
He's good.
It also, it dawned on me that the Orville is, I mean, it's what Trek would be if, like, it didn't have a big budget today, which
Mm-hmm.
that's obvious. But it's just a sitcom. It's like sitcom budget.
Yeah.
Space
I mean,
show.
we can get into like the simulator stuff being like uber sitcom, because that's
Uber
basically
sitcom.
what it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, everybody, wake on up, in your room that looks like your room but isn't your room. It's like kind of different than what your normal room would be
and you're
like.
like, wait a second, am I in the simulator?
Am I in the simulator? And you open your door and you, in fact, are in the simulator. So leave the simulator and go down to the the food space where you eat your food.
Those are called kitchens.
I think these are
Uh,
kitchens.
well, it was okay. We'll
No,
go down
it's
to your
it's the
kitchen.
Foodotron.
The Foodotron.
The food truck.
Go down to your Foodotron. Click a couple buttons on your Malakamator, and what that is gonna do is it's gonna spit out something for you that it's gonna be a little iPhone for you. You guys are just riveted by this. I'm getting eye rolls. I'm getting hands in face.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Neither do I. I'm floating.
Just get there, baby. Just get there.
A little iPhone pops out of the Malakmulator, and you put your headphones in, and come with us on our
Trek to the holodeck.
So for somebody to come in and save me there, I was really
No,
floating.
you had it.
Nothing.
Man. Should we, this isn't anything to do with this episode. It has to do with the future of episodes. Because we've like, you listen to the first season, and things are rough-ish. We're trying to find our way with the podcast. Like, how are we gonna figure this all out? Like, what's the order of this podcast gonna be? And we've kind of stuck with that for like 4 seasons now because we found it. We're like, we like this. I still like it, but do we want to try to add something? Do we want to try to subtract something? Do we want to change something?
I say let's get through this season, and then we get to get back to
This
that.
is the
Are you
last
trying to have a
episode of the
production
season.
meeting right now in
While
the
we're-
middle of an episode?
Kind of. Because this is the only
Yeah.
time we ever really get together.
One of the
True.
big changes we made was turning the 30-second recap into the runabout.
That's true.
That's true.
Speaking
That's
of the
true.
runabout, should we run about?
We should.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Really, I'm just giving us a vehicle for our clip show.
Fair.
Ah, yes, of course. Of course. Has anybody got a timer up?
No.
I got it.
Then why'd
30
you ask?
seconds, correct? I don't know. I just
It's
wanted to see
20
if anybody
seconds per 20 seconds per person,
was per person. All right.
and you
So-
got to give the signal when people are.
Gotcha. So it's
Man.
a minute long.
Dylan,
All right.
We've done this so many times. Are you just now figuring out?
He's
how
never
this is
run
done?
the stopwatch
Hey,
before.
it's been a while, okay? It's been a while. We're watching something that's not Star Trek, okay? And I haven't run the clock in a long time.
What order are we doing?
I'll start.
Yeah, get us off to a good start there.
And then I'll
Mark,
go
because,
second, and then Dylan's got to end it.
I'll finish it off nice and easy. All right, ready, guys?
Uh huh.
Whenever you're ready, Mark.
Okay, go. So we pan over a sweeping table full of tchotchkes and Coke and cigarettes and all sorts of wonderful things. And there's a doctor there. And the doctor is surprised. It's Tim Russ. And the doctor's looking over this table full of wonderful things. And he's pointing at these things on the table.
And it turns out that they find a time capsule. There's cigarettes in the time capsule, and there's a phone. Gordon gets the phone and makes a simulation of the person who owned the phone. But then Bortus and his partner get addicted to cigarettes. That's the B plot of this, which is hilarious, by the way.
It's hilarious, by the way. And so Gordon gets into a fake relationship with this woman, a la Gordy, and everyone's like, hey, man, this is fucked up. You can't do this. And then she falls in love with her ex-boyfriend. Meanwhile, Bortus and his husband are going through nicotine withdrawals, and somebody bangs. Gordon bangs. That's it.
Hey, we got a good amount of it.
I think we got it in there, yeah.
With Mark over here tanking it on purpose.
Starting off well. Starting off
I
the
had
good
to
old
I had to
way.
Dylan it the first.
It's the way to go. You got to start it off that way.
All right, this episode was written by Seth MacFarlane, creator of the show. Director was Kelly Cronin. Composer John Debney.
John Deb.
Nice. We got some Tim Russ action going on in this.
Special guest Tim Russ, who is amazing.
So good.
Great to see old Tuvok getting to put a smile on his face. One of my favorite bits was when he was like, "Oh, instead of asking to go to the nearest water treatment facility, she just asks WTF."
Yeah, it was like something technology something.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like,
Yeah.
it's like
Wireless technology
Yeah.
facility or something.
Yeah.
WTF.
WTF.
Oh God. The moment that they found this woman's phone, I have multiple notes that said, "Oh no, we're gonna have a Geordie situation here."
Jordy situation, yeah.
Immediately.
Uh-huh. Yep. And we
The
even get a little bit of the delete the wife.
That's a Voyager shout out. The other special guest was Leighton Meester, of course, as Laura Huggins is his version of Leah Brahms.
Quite good. This also had a little bit of taste of that Black Mirror episode where that lady's husband dies, and then there's this service that can take all of his social media stuff and like create a new version.
Puts
of
it into
him.
like a robot.
yeah.
a
Yeah.
synth version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, we can start. Can we start with Bortus? And the
Oh,
We kind of
cigarettes?
have to. We kind of have
Yeah.
to because most of Gordon's stuff is in the
Is in the
excuse me,
simulator.
in the simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, when they were like when they finally smoked the cigarette and they're like, we need more of these, and he just turns, he's like, create me 500.
And it goes,
500 cigarettes.
My favorite is when Clyden goes, "It has a wonderful aroma," and then he just like chomps it. It just splorps it into his mouth. That was one.
I had to taste it.
I had to taste it.
They are like my favorite characters on the show. Truly, I love them so much.
They have some really great arcs. I really love the two of them. I've never smoked. I am not a smoker. I think cigarette smoke is not a good aroma. It does make you look so cool, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It's awesome.
Him sitting on the
There's
bridge in the
years of
captain's chair.
propaganda. Yeah.
Him sitting on the bridge in the captain's chair with that cigarette in his mouth. I'm like, dude looks like a badass. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks pretty cool.
He picks up
very-
his ashtray to move to his.
It's very funny that they put a scene with him smoking on the bridge.
On the
and,
bridge.
like nobody knowing how to handle it, because it's like they haven't had cigarettes in
Yeah, no one's done this in 400
hundreds of
years.
Incredible. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't immediately have something to just like
Like,
to
combat
give
it.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
just be like, oh yeah, this is easy.
I think they did a pretty good job explaining that, though, because like she was like, we haven't had to deal with it in
Yes, yeah.
hundreds of years.
And she was like, "We haven't had to deal with this with humans, let alone this random
Alien.
species in
Yeah.
space that we
Yep.
haven't had dealt with this before." And
Yeah.
your species is hypersensitive to nicotine addiction.
Mhm.
So
This
she's
is-
like, "Give me a bit of time."
This episode like could just be titled like dopamine rushes.
Right.
Like that's the first thing I thought when they start smoking, and also Gordon gets like her phone number and he's like texting her outside of the holodeck.
See, that is something that an aspect of this episode that I thought was nuts. Because that's not something you normally see with the usually when you leave the holodeck, you
So,
leave, and then if
yeah.
it's like I need to get back in there, like I have to go back, but he makes a phone and starts texting with her in the
the program.
simulator. I'm like, this is new level thinking for what the simulator could potentially do. Like
Well, that
he
also
creates a
means-
phone and links it with the program and starts talking to the
craziness.
program is nuts.
But that also means the program is running in the background.
All the time.
So
sure,
like, so if my brain goes, if I'm writing this episode for Star Trek, not for the Orville, like that's it's gonna eat up all of the like bandwidth of and the ship's gonna get
Power.
in danger because he's
Yeah.
eating up
sure.
a bunch of bandwidth with his fucking cell phone, right? Like
Cool. So good.
it's like why can't we communicate with anybody? What are all these random communications coming in out of
Right.
nowhere? But yeah, it's crazy that we've like now connected it virtually.
It's wild. Also, the going back to the smoking bit, one of my favorite parts of that whole storyline is Bortus showing where all of his cigarettes are hidden,
Yeah.
and the way that he grabs them and shows them is just so incredible.
And
And
then
then he
dumps out
opens
the
It
pillow.
opens the pillow and there's like 100 in the pillow.
Dumps them all out. It's incredible.
I think probably my biggest thing is when they're in their maximum withdrawal state and they're at the table and
They're
they're just like eating and they're furious and both of them are like and then they start to fight and she walks in on them, the doctor walks in on them and she's like, I have your injections, what the hell is going on here?
Oh my!
Which one of you wants it first? And they both raise their hand because they're ready to deal with their addiction.
And then they're like, when they first walk in and they're just sitting at their kitchen table smoking cigarettes together, and they're just like piles of like
In the-
smoking cigarettes just in it.
They're like, what? What do you mean?
And
what's
then
wrong?
they're like, "Where's your child?"
I gotta watch more of the show. I think I watched the first season and I kind of.
Oh man,
it
the
up a
first
little
season
bit.
is the worst season too.
I feel like I briefly remember this one actually because I remember them getting addicted to cigarettes. So I feel like I maybe did watch this one.
There's so this episode is great because it ties a lot of episodes together without and it could be a testament to good writing, it could be a testament to good callbacks, I don't know what, but there's at the end of the episode, I mean, if you haven't watched this show, watch this show. I'm not. There are a lot of people who are like, this is a good replacement for new Star Trek, and I don't believe that at all. I believe everyone should watch Star Trek. But this is a great Star Trek adjacent show, and I believe everybody should watch it.
For the longest time, it was the only episodic Star Trek style show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially the new season is really great. The
New Horizons.
New Horizons is really great, but season 2 also has a lot of great stuff. There's an episode later where Gordon gets thrown back in time and decides to go try and meet this woman.
Oh.
So I won't give any more information about how that works out and how it plays in with the Orville and stuff.
So they basically take the part 2 of Geordi's
episode.
and they do a part 2 of
Part
Gordon.
2 for Gordon. And there's an instance where Grayson talks about how if she had never met Mercer, her life would have turned out so differently, and they play on that later. And so there's like so many things, and then they even bring up Bortus's Sex Lagoon. Like it's all make believe. Okay, well that was the previous episode we had watched about Bortus's Sex Lagoon. Like, and so this is a great episode of like intermediary of a lot of different episodes. And so I really do love this show. And it's say what you will about Seth MacFarlane, but he is a decent writer. I mean, he's a
Oh yeah.
If you can get him away from the dick jokes, yeah, for sure.
And I
and
think,
he-
I think at the end of the day, like I think he with this show he wants to. Like I don't think like
No, of course.
I get the
Season one
impression
was-
that he wants to do this, but it had to be sold as a comedy.
That's what
Season 1 was
Fox
sold-
made him do.
Season 1 was sold to Fox with the dick jokes, and that's how they bought it.
Family
And then-
Guy in space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then once he gets to season 2, you can really see it. It's like those jokes kind of like there's maybe one per episode at that
Yeah.
point, but everything else is just like
And then Hulu said, "Hey, make good sci-fi," and he did.
That's wonderful. So I'm assuming the third season is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, because you get those bits in here. They're like, that's so Lorenzo. Like when he's in. I know we're going to the holodeck a little bit, but like when he introduces himself to her for the first time, like you're Lorenzo's friend, and then he kind of
Yeah.
have this like this Lorenzo bit that's clearly just like okay. Yeah, okay.
Well,
just need some comedy in here. I get
getting
it.
into the holodeck again, when they're playing Pictionary, and he's like, "Cereal Man, Cereal Man, is it Cereal Man, Cereal Man?" That's a Family Guy joke.
Cereal
It's
Man.
Yeah.
it's a jackal, a jackal, it's a jackal, it's a jackal, it's a jackal, and then it was like, if it wasn't a jackal the first time, it's not a jackal the next 10 times. Like, That is a
Like-
Stewie joke. That's like literally word for word from Family
Oh my
Guy.
God. I did like.
But I
the
will
Cereal
give it
Man
to them
bit.
too. It's a Family Guy joke, but it's also a everyone's played Pictionary with this person.
Right, with
joke,
that person,
Where
right?
you're just
Yeah.
like,
Stop
No,
guessing
stop
that.
same
saying
thing.
that.
Like,
Cereal Man. Leighton Meester is great in this episode. Tim Russ and her are great guest stars. I'm not super into girls, but I see it. Smash. I don't know. What do you say to that? And
I don't know.
I don't know, Mark. I don't know.
smash, swing.
Yeah, whatever. All the above.
I thought she did a very good job in the part.
Yeah, they. I know that she released a version of that song on YouTube that cut out all the Gordon parts
Oh my God.
because that's her song. That's her
Is it
song.
really?
So yeah, so when
okay.
she released the song on YouTube, it cut out all the cuts to Gordon. It just
I
was like her.
legitimately thinking, like in my head, I was like, somebody had to write this song.
It's a pretty
Who-
song.
who-
Yeah,
who
it's
wrote
hers.
this
Yeah,
song?
yeah.
That's
This song
great
was
to know.
written for somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it cut out all the Gordon reaction shots because
Beautiful.
it's not really important when you release it as a music video.
My question is,
Incredible.
again, more simulator stuff. But my question is that Is that the actor of Gordon singing at the end?
Yeah, no,
When they
he's
do
a
the
singer.
duet? Is he?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
That's wonderful.
yeah. Because he does. He sings in another episode. He sings "Secret of Life" by James Taylor, which is one of my favorite songs, and he does a really good job. But he has a bunch of music of his own that he does. Yeah.
That's a
Cool.
delight. That's a
Cool.
delight. I didn't know that he was a singer.
Yes.
A singer.
A singer.
Typical. Like, hey, can you let me sing in this episode? Like, can I
Of
sing
course,
along?
Yeah, no problem. I did
Yeah.
find it very strange though. Him straight up just walking in,
Straight
and
up
then
on stage.
going up to the stage, and nobody being like, "Who the fuck is this
He
guy?"
asked if he could sing with her, and she said
I
yes.
know, but the way that he walked, he just
Where he's
like,
like,
showed up at the bar.
hey, it's me.
Didn't like, wasn't there beforehand for like a sound check or whatever. It was just like he just walks into the bar and then walks on stage, and nobody's like, "The fuck is this? What's happening? Who is this guy?
Who the hell are you?
Who the fuck are you?"
What do you- Well, do we got anything else we want to talk about before we jump into the archives?
The cigarette bit is super good, and
That's the thing is most of this episode takes place in the simulator.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is Norm Macdonald, R.I.P. It's comedic genius. Like him as the little blob monster being
so
like,
good.
"Hey, why don't you try turn it off and turn it back on again?"
Hey, try
it's like
turning it
such,
off.
Classic.
such a good joke. It's like,
The thing
Hey,
with that though is the fact that they knew how to turn it on and off again was
Yeah.
the part to me where I was like, you wouldn't know to hold those two buttons.
it's like, hey, the keypad's not working. Hey, why don't you turn it off, turn it back on
Turn
again?
it back on. It's classic Norm Macdonald also.
Right.
It's like he works in that bit so well.
Right. Oh man, he is a highlight of the entire show. And you think, oh man, this is gonna get old pretty fast, but he is great across all 3 seasons. He is great.
Fun fact: this is his not this episode, but this character is his last on-screen role.
Is it really?
Yes,
I believe it
it is his last.
because
character.
he passed away while before the 3rd season aired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Craziness.
whole scene where they're sitting there trying to figure the phone out, too. I'm like, is this just gonna? Because I didn't know what the joke was gonna be, but I was like, is this just gonna turn into the joke of like the battery's dead? They had to plug it in. That's why they couldn't get it working. Like they were checking all the internals to make sure that all they had to do was like find the right charger.
One of the mistakes pointed out on the Wikipedia page, Clyde and Bordis ordered 500 cigarettes from the food synthesizer, but only 464 appear. So someone went and counted all
Fuck you! What are people doing?
cigarettes.
Jesus Christ!
People have too much time on their hands,
A
man.
lot of time. Lots.
Like
of
I
time.
don't I don't get it.
A lot of time on their hands. That's wonderful.
So one of the other things they point out is people seem unaware of some 20th century cultural habits as opposed to others. So they talk about the difference between this and something like Star Trek is they talk about movies and TV shows and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, let's go watch a movie," and they'll watch like, "Let's go watch Sister Act" or something like that, and but they don't know what smoking is when clearly in movies people are
They're
smoking
smoking.
cigarettes and
Yeah.
drinking and doing all that.
Well,
kind
who
of
knows
stuff.
if
And so-
Bortus is watching?
Not Bortus,
You know.
but they like some people. Like I think the doctor knew what it was. Like
What?
oh, you put it
Yeah.
up to your mouth and you inhale it. I think she was the one who said what you do with cigarettes, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
some people didn't know.
Ah, what a delight. What a delight. Should we
Yeah,
hop
I'm
into
ready for the archives.
What if?
Let's do
What if? What if? What if? In this timeline, we've gone all George Lucas, and they've gone and like erased all of the cigarettes from all the movies because
Oh my god.
because it's like we're not smoking anymore.
it's
We don't want
bad.
people to know. What
You
these
go back
are.
and you erase the puppet
Yeah.
Yoda and put in like a digital Yoda
right,
instead.
or like
Oh
you
my
take the
God.
cigarette out of Walt Disney's hand, right? So it looks like he's pointing instead.
That would make movies really fucking weird. People would just be like,
What is he doing?
"What is he doing? Why is he doing?"
Why is he doing that?
No, they would go
Weird.
in. They'd go in with AI and like remove their arm to do something
That's
else.
making me really sad. I don't even want to think about that, Darius. Stop. Stop it. Stop
That's
it.
where we're at these days, baby.
Stop it. I can't think about that.
All right,
It'll
we can go into the archives now.
throw me into a spiral.
Okay, so in the room over there, they've opened the time capsule from 2015. We got the time capsule from 1995.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm kind of more excited about this time capsule.
Yeah,
too,
it's
me too.
theirs is 20 years in the future. Ours is 20 years in the past. So
Here's
this
the-
is kind of a cool.
Here's the deal though. Like I kind of am pissed off that Lopek opened it before us and then packaged it all back up and disappeared.
It's
yeah.
fucked up, really. Is what it is.
Like he found what he was looking for and then just like left.
What are you doing?
Huh?
What are you smoking too?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, were there cigarettes in our time capsule as well?
Yeah, I have some unfortunate news. I also opened it.
What?
And got what
Damn
I
it.
wanted.
man.
I mean, look, there were cigarettes in the 2015 one, and they were pretty good. But I was looking for an older year, and this was the oldest one. And Lopek came to me and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna open it because I need to get something."
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. But we should open it anyway. You know, there's
Sure.
there's
Okay.
stuff in
Let's.
there.
Can you
All
not smoke that in here, man? It kind of stinks.
Yeah. Oh man, right in my
Ugh.
face. What? Can you at least blow it in the other direction? You have to blow it right in my face.
It's
Yeah.
the smoke's gonna go where it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can aim it. It's not just gonna go where it's gonna go. Oh man.
All right, yeah, I'll blow it somewhere else. I'll blow it
Thank
somewhere
you.
else.
Okay, so let's see what's in here. All right, we have. Oh, look, they had Cardassians on Earth.
Oh,
One
at-
was named Kim, apparently.
No. This is 1995. No, I'm looking at this little toy. It looks like but it doesn't look exactly like a Cardassian. It has like a little shell, and he's holding like weapons.
oh yes, you know I know what those are called.
What is it?
They're called. Oh, I knew this. I was studying pop culture.
It's like
It's like-
preteen
Fight turtle.
fight turtle.
Fight
or
turtle.
something like that.
Turtles? Why are Cardassians known as turtles? I don't
Fight
understand.
turtles.
They're fighting lizards.
I don't know what Cardassians are. What are Cardassians?
What are Cardassians? You don't know what Cardassians are?
No.
Well, they enslaved my people. Whatever. Okay.
Ooh, that's rough.
If you don't stop blowing smoke in my face, I'm going to collapse your throat, and you will not be able to inhale any more smoke.
I mean, maybe. Do you guys want one so that this isn't as weird? Because I've got lots of them.
How much you gonna charge?
Does it
us for
taste good?
Yeah.
It's 25 cents. I love them. Yeah. I'm
25 cents.
yeah.
Look, there's a bowl of loose change in here.
Okay.
Whoa.
Here you
Let's
go.
look at which one is 25 cents? Some
I don't know. Take a handful.
there's some little
Well, no. Each
little
one is
round
25
copper
cents.
ones. There's some tiny little round silver ones.
I think.
Take a handful.
Just give me what an inch.
This one has a little eagle on it. I'm gonna give you that one.
I'll take that one. Yeah, there you go. There you
Okay.
go. This is what they call Lucy's.
Lucy's. Okay.
Yes, it's a Lucy.
How do I just
Loosey goosey.
Put it up to your mouth,
okay.
and then here I got a little lighter for you.
Okay. Hey, this is pretty nice.
Pretty good. That's pretty good, huh?
Guys, Jesus Christ. So this is what I guess in 1995, because it says it on the top, they would call a PlayStation, and I don't know
Oh.
what a PlayStation does. I'm guessing
So
it's a station
it's-
where you play.
Some sort of
But-
sex thing, maybe?
It might be like a sex dungeon,
Maybe.
Sex dungeon?
or like a
Could
sex
be.
lagoon situation.
Does it
You know?
does it vibrate?
I don't know. Do you know where I would plug this in?
Turn around.
It's not my butt. It's not gonna plug into my butt. I know what my butthole
I
looks
think
like,
it.
and
I
it's
think
not
it needs
that.
power of some sort. I just don't know. We don't like use these plugs anymore, so
Yeah, that's a tough. That's a tough
everything
one.
kind of runs off of the wireless network. You know.
Yeah. You might have to ask the computer to make one. You know what? Let me check.
Computer
my
make
inventory.
computer make 20th late 20th century outlet for PlayStation. Oh, look, there you go. There's
That
right there.
looks like an LA. You can plug that in.
Okay. Well, the handle thing vibrates when you turn it.
So it is a sex thing. I
Sex
knew
thing.
it.
It's a
There you
sex thing.
go.
Yeah. So if
Perfect.
you press different buttons, it vibrates differently.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Nice.
Those
Nice.
pervs. Those 20th century pervs.
Those perverts.
Man. Oh,
These cigarettes are amazing. Man.
pretty good, huh?
All right.
Here's a tube of things that I believe are called pogs.
Oh yes,
Pogs.
I know Pogs very
Do
well.
you just like throw them at people?
I don't know. They're just like cardboard, like
you
cut out.
You
Circles?
Slam them. You slam them on the ground.
Slam them?
Pert,
Yeah.
what do you know what pogs are?
I got really into 20th century culture a couple years back, and I got really into what they call Pogs. These were they're little paper collectibles.
It's like gambling.
Or they're like chips, like poker chips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. All right, I found a small animal that is filled with beans.
A bean bag. A bean bear.
A bean bear. That's probably.
A bean bear. Bean
think-
bear.
Look,
little
reading
heart
the
says
tag.
Beanie Baby.
Beanie Baby.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a-
whose
Ugh.
baby is this?
That's disturbing.
Well, it's Beanie's baby, I think.
Oh, that would make sense.
Why did they put a baby in the time capsule?
I don't
Is it
know.
like a is it like
maybe the beans
grave?
preserve it. I don't know. This is weird.
Hey guys, you want to know what Lopek took out of here?
What did he take out of here?
I do.
There was this big thing that I think it's called a tape. It's
Uh-huh.
like a data holding situation.
Okay.
And he put it into the holodeck and
The simulator?
Sorry, the simulator, and created a woman from it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How long was this tape?
it was really only about 30 to 45 seconds, and it was
That can't be a very
Very com-
detailed
Very
simulation.
complete simulation.
Yeah.
It really was not. It was just a video of her talking to us about who she was generally and what she
Uh-huh.
liked.
So like a dating thing, like a dating profile
I
tape.
think it must have been some sort of dating. Yeah.
And he tried to
apparatus.
create an entire simulation about her life from that.
Yes. Yeah. So
How-
he's in there right now. I can only
That
assume.
again does not sound like it's going to be a very complete simulation. Like you
mean-
said it was what 30 seconds to a minute long of her talking about what she likes.
Yeah, she likes reading books and walking on the beach, and she likes. going
That's
to
such generic
restaurants.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So.
It's gonna
What's
be like
her
a
name?
Basquiat painting. I don't understand how nobody's gonna be able to get anything from that.
You know, Lopek can get a lot of things from very little. You know. So
He is 3 times as smart as everybody else.
exactly, yeah.
Sure, but 45 seconds, that's not enough to create a whole life of somebody.
It's true. I got a notification on my pad. It's an invitation to Lopek's wedding.
What?
Did you guys know he's getting married?
Is he going to get married to this simulation girl?
Oh God, I hope. Oh Jesus, I hope.
That means we're
not.
gonna have to deal with her, like every event we go to.
He's gonna try
He's
to
gonna be
bring
asking us
her.
to
Is
come
she
to
going
the
to be able to leave the
simulation.
simulator? Hopefully not.
We're gonna have to go to the simulator to have.
Is that why
dinners with-
Lopek? Is that why Lopek was carrying around that little tiny thing on his hip that just kept beeping, and it was
that
like
must be.
it would like read out maybe like really like tiny messages, but most of the time it was just a phone number, and he'd have
Yeah,
to
and
like run to the replicator and then like replicate what looked like an old school phone and make
Yeah,
a
like
phone call.
Yeah, like one with the cord, like the little curly
Yeah.
cord.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
that's what
god.
I think he's talking to his girlfriend.
Oh, great.
Well, fiance
Tape-
now.
Tape
Fiance.
lady. Fiance.
If he wasn't insufferable before, it's going to be terrible now.
Oh, look at
boy.
this! It looks like another one of those tape things that he found, and it says Ace Ventura: Nature Calls on it.
Mm.
Oh.
Must be a nature
Nature
video
doc.
about.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you guys want to go watch it?
Yeah, I'm down. Let's check it
Let's.
out.
What if we put it into Simulator 2 and we
Yes.
have it create a simulation based
That's
off
a
of it?
great
Yeah,
idea.
I hope there's
Love
no
that.
weird butt stuff in it.
Yeah, I hope that. I can't imagine they'd put any weird butt stuff in that. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's go, guys.
Beautiful.
Oh man. I do remember now. The last time we did an episode, our characters were all different species of the Orville.
Were we? I thought it was just we were different, wearing different uniforms.
Maybe that's what it was. I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
All right, let's talk about the meat and potatoes of this episode.
What are the meat and potatoes of this episode?
Simulation.
Derek?
So basically, it's the Geordie complex. It's the Janeway delete the wife complex. It. Gordon feels a little bit out of time, like he feels like he more belongs in the early 2000s.
I have a legitimate question here, actually. Who?
Thanks for the legitimate question. All the other questions are so illegitimate.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Who is a sales manager at Macy's and can afford to live in a house like
So
that?
okay, this is where I want to get into this sitcom, the sitcomized version of
Aspect
this
of
simulation
this? Yeah.
is like
It's small.
on top of the
It's huge.
fact on top of the fact that we're like going back in time to 2015, we're also seeing like these sitcom, because like everything that happens in that simulator is such a sitcom. The sets, the like conversations they're having, the singing, like
Yep.
all of that. And so it kind of, I think, just like builds this world as well on top of like, yeah, she's a sales manager at Macy's and owns like a huge house. Like
Crazy. I guess,
Yeah,
it
and-
builds on the fake aspect of it
yeah,
all.
yeah,
And she does live in Los Angeles.
Really?
she does.
That's confirmed.
That's confirmed in the next episode. Is she's in Los Angeles?
This is even crazier. It's even crazier to say
I mean,
that.
LA hasn't always been this expensive. But
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's
that's
it's
supposed to be like
2015.
2015, yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, if it was like it's 1984, like yeah, nobody
It's
wanted
like
to live here then.
It's the new girl effect, right? Where
Right.
you're like, you guys aren't making them enough money to
Can't
afford
live
that
in
loft.
fucking
Yeah.
loft. Get out of here.
Even
Good
with four of
friends.
you sharing the rent, yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I really enjoyed how cheesy this whole situation was, and I was just slurping it all up. I was like, this is cheesy as fuck, and I love it.
Yeah, I liked that there were he what drew him in was how real and raw it was and how it was so personal, and then as soon as he started to mess with the program, it all went away.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's classic delete the wife.
Yep.
Yeah,
situation.
it was this. Yeah, it was the situation. Like he kept saying, like, well, nobody wrote this. Like it's
Right.
just her. It's
Yeah.
all from her.
Once he started fucking around, it was like, this sucks.
This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
I think towards the end of this episode, I had the thought of like, and I've been thinking about this with a lot of movies and TV shows. Is like, this story's been told over and over and over again, right? Like this isn't, we're not breaking new ground here, but there's a reason why these stories are told over and over and over again. Is because like the message, quote unquote, is like real and like it just works and applying to our like everyday life. And that was like kind of heartwarming in a weird way, where I was like, "This is nice. We're doing stories that everybody knows, but like,
Right.
there's a reason why we tell these stories over and over and over and over again. Is they're like universal in a way, almost."
Yeah, definitely. His uniform, and then the program calling out his uniform every single time.
Wearing
In
pajamas.
that first one,
Did you lose a bet?
With Lorenzo.
are you Lorenzo's friends? Oh man, too bad Lorenzo couldn't be here.
Oh, Lorenzo, he's so cool, man.
Classic Lorenzo.
So cool. I really liked when what's Gordon's buddy's name that's outside of the holodeck?
Lamar.
Lamar. When he asked him if he was doing drugs inside of the holodeck, when he's like, "Oh, it's like so great in there," and he's like, you didn't do any drugs in there.
You're doing drugs in there, right?
Yeah, are you like just out of your mind right now?
How about Lorenzo's like terrible fucking misogynistic joke that they wrote? I'm guessing for Fox, where he's just like, "Man, I know how you feel. Really? Nah, my worst breakup was like
You mean Lamar's joke?
yeah, my worst breakup was like her coming. We broke up, and then she said like, "Yeah, you can still come have sex with me if you want."
That's very much his character, though. Is he always
know.
breaks up with people before
Yeah.
they get a chance to break up with him?
Oh.
Yeah, I appreciate too. They go to the party, and after the Pictionary, they're like, "So, do you guys want to? You guys, what was the line where it's like,
You guys want to debrief or something about this later?
well, no, but it was like even someone made a line to the captain, and the captain was like, "No, I don't understand that," and they just like get up and leave.
Yes, yeah.
It's like-
So dismissive. I can't
Yeah.
remember what she says.
I can't
thought-
remember either.
I remember that moment of him saying, "Yeah, no,
that's not
thank
it.
you.
No, that
that's
doesn't
not it.
sound. That doesn't sound
Doesn't
like
sound
great at all. I'm gonna
very
leave
good
now.
at all,
It's like, and then the other line I liked where they were doing Pictionary, where he's like, "Sorry about the." This was the dick joke of the episode. Was like, "Sorry about Dick Van Dyke. I just didn't understand the reference, and I was going with what I knew."
What I had.
Dick jokes are fun.
Yeah,
They're fun.
they're funny if they're few and far between. That's my
Yes,
thing. Is if
yes.
it's an overwhelming number, you're like, wrap it up. Come on,
Yes.
guys.
Come on.
Agreed. Also, at the end, this is very nice. Greg is a nice guy. Boyfriend Greg seems like a cool dude.
Very nice
He
guy.
was smoking.
He's one of those. He's one of those nice guys where you're like, dude, you're being too nice to me right now.
Yeah.
I'm the other guy.
I'm
What's
the other
going on?
guy.
Yeah. If I was Laura, I'd go with Greg too, to be honest. The tall, bearded, dark-haired guy versus stumpy redhead who doesn't have his life in order. Captain
He's
Greg.
got his life in order. He's on a starship.
Yeah, he's a bit of a mess. He just
He's
fell in
on
love
a
with it.
starship.
He just fell in love with a hologram, let's be honest. He's a bit
Fair
of a mess.
enough. Fair enough. And he's the one who's drinking while he's driving the ship, right?
He doesn't
In
usually.
that-
do
He
that.
is. He
That
is.
earlier episode. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, in the
first
early
episode,
episode.
he's
Is
cracking
that a
beer? Is that a beer?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one beer.
It's one
like,
beer.
Jeez, dude.
Oh boy.
That's
Shall we
like
rate
literally.
it?
I think that's like the first 10 minutes
I
of the
think it is
first
the
episode.
first episode. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think we made that joke on
We
one
did.
of our episodes, and then we watched that and we're like, damn, they took our
No,
great joke.
me and Dylan, I think we were just hanging out and we made a joke about it, and then we
Oh, is
watched
that a
the
beer? Are
Orville,
you drinking a beer?
and we're like, oh fuck, is
They got us.
They
Yeah,
got
I think
us.
I remember that now. You drinking a beer?
that a beer?
This is one of the higher rated episodes of this season, one of the highest rated episodes of this season. And it shows this show was raking in huge numbers, and it proves that, I mean, way higher than any streaming service, but it proves that network television will always beat any streaming service. It's just because
true.
it's just because people have it. People have
We also
access to it.
We just I love TV in its like normal
It's-
format personally.
Like and
I
like
enjoy it.
yeah, and like Mark just said, it's easy to access.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You know I'm gonna turn the TV on. Now the companies that fucking give it to you are pieces of shit, like
Yeah.
Spectrum and all them. Like, but you know if you want to spend the $100 a month for your fucking cable package,
You know
turn it
where
on, you
you're
know where to
going.
find it.
They're
Whereas
they're
like streaming services, you're like, wait, I gotta download what app, and then I gotta do what, and where is it available, and how much is it,
Yep.
and they're hoping I forget, and like
Sucks.
it's just
there's a show called Bob Hart's Abishola. Have you heard of it?
no.
It beats a show like The Bear every week by 8 million viewers
What is this show?
because one is on CBS and one is on Hulu.
Yeah.
Bob
Yep, and you've
what?
never heard of it. And it's about a big fat guy who falls in love with a nurse from Africa, and
Sola?
yep,
Bob
and
Hart's
he's
Abishola,
trying to
that's
woo her. It's
What the
and
fuck?
you're like, how is this getting numbers? And it's because grandma in Indianapolis can
It's on
turn on her
TV.
can turn on her antenna, her digital antenna, and she can turn to CBS and she can watch it on CBS. Grandma is not turning on a Roku. Grandma is not turning on a Fire Stick. Grandma does not have Hulu and is not going to watch The Bear. She is going to watch Bob Hart's Abishola,
Wow, I had no idea this show even existed.
which he's lost a lot of weight, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
guys, the new season of The Bear is so fucking good.
we haven't watched it yet, so no
I haven't
spoilers.
seen the second season.
I won't give any spoilers. Second season definitely, I think, has the sophomore slump. It's still good, but it doesn't know what it's doing, where it's going. But the third season picks it back up, and it's so good.
But it's just, my point is, you can have all the accolades, Emmys, and eyes on you think you have in the world, but nothing is going to beat, when you have 325 million people in this country, nothing is going to beat that digital antenna on network television.
You know, I just got myself a digital antenna.
We have
Did
one.
you?
I got one, and I have like 100 channels.
Yeah, there's tons.
which
We
is
use it to watch
crazy.
football.
I figured, I was like, I can probably get this to watch some sports and like award shows and stuff.
Yeah.
That seems like the way to go. I was
Uh,
watching Scooby Doo this morning. 'Cause there's
UGA
cartoons on.
UGA games, you can either watch them on ESPN Super Plus, $100 a month limited, or you can watch them on
Satellite.
CBS. And Florida State games, you can watch them on ACC Super Plus, $200 a year, or you can watch them on ABC. So we just
Love it.
we spent $12 and got ourselves a goddamn digital antenna,
They're
hooks up to
fucking
the
so
TV,
cheap, man.
and that's how we watch it.
They're
It's
so cheap.
incredible. It's really crazy when you really wrap your head around the world that we live in. The fucking gymnastics that we go through just to watch something is really nuts. It's really, really crazy. Wow.
And so it's like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch them on network television because it's free.
Because it's free.
And
I
we're not in
really-
a market, like if we lived in markets where they black it out, they do that here. Like if you want to watch a UCLA game or a USC game, you can't because they black it out. So, but we're not on the same coast because they want you to go to the games. They want you to attend the games. But we're not in those markets, so
Oh, that's true.
they play our games on television here.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I had a wonderful experience the other day that I haven't had in a long time. Turned the TV on and started watching. Popped in the middle of
In the middle of a
Castaway.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
and me and
caught
Tess were
with
like,
the TV.
we were like, oh, this is great. Like,
I love
and then Tess
yes.
was like, we should watch this from the beginning, shouldn't we? And I was like, yeah. So we, because our parents have YouTube TV, we just it's basically cable, and you can watch stuff from the beginning.
I need to get their login.
We watched the whole fucking movie, and I was like, afterwards, I was like, Tess, I miss popping on a movie on Sunday that I just popped in the middle of, and you're like, oh wow, this is great. I forgot about this. I forgot
Yeah.
how good this movie is.
So good.
And that never would have happened on streaming. I would have just been like paralysis, decision paralysis.
The only
for
the only
fucking
difference
20
being
hours.
that the only difference being that you wouldn't be able to start it from the beginning. You just pop in and start whenever you pop
Yeah,
in
but that's
on.
like a nice That's like one of the improvements that is good.
After we're done recording, go watch my story on Instagram. It's reference to that.
Oh, really? Beautiful.
Yeah, we need to rate this episode though.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I have the stuff up, and we will start with dialogue. The dialogue's so cheesy, man.
It is.
It's very
so
kooky
cheesy.
and cheesy.
Cheeserino. It's very cheesy.
And he's just like asking
Cereal
all
Man.
these questions.
Cereal
that-
Man.
Cereal Man.
He's asking all these questions on their like dates that you're like, oh, you're just being the perfect date right now because you don't know anything about this time
You're
period.
such a good listener.
like
You're such a good listener.
really? Because where I'm from, people think I don't shut up.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Where are you from? New Jersey.
I give it a 2.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
It was nothing right about the dialogue.
They hit it for me. They took what the sitcom feeling, this like weird sitcom feeling, and they hit it. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
romance.
Romance
romance.
is a big
It's a
5.
five.
They killed the romantic aspect. They managed to capture almost a full relationship in 40 minutes from start to finish. I thought it
And-
was great.
And they captured the like rom-com feeling
Yeah.
too
Absolutely.
as well. So
Mhm.
Quinteros, is that all
Yeah,
5?
it's Quinteros.
Yeah.
Action.
Not a lot of action. The action bit I liked was when he ended program in the bed and he
And
went
fell.
floop. He fell on the
Yes.
floor.
Yes.
So I'll give
Safe
it a
program.
1 for that.
I'll give it a 1.5 because we kind of see him. I don't know if he's coming out of the holodeck, but when he rounds the corner off of the holodeck, I'm assuming he's coming out of the holodeck and he's like putting his clothes on.
Yep.
It's like morning after.
Mark's
It's
1.
like 1 point for me for the bed fall.
Yeah.
Dylan's 1. Okay. Suspense. I don't really see a
I
suspense.
got nothing here.
Yeah, the suspense for me is like, okay, where is this going? Like something's gonna throw a wrench into this. He kept saying, he kept making these statements, which felt weird to me. It was all there in the phone. Like, I can't believe I missed it. Like, oh, I can't believe I missed that Greg and her got back together. And then it was like, I can't believe I missed that it was like Greg was the one who got her into music and like all that kind of stuff. But there wasn't a lot of like suspense. So I'm gonna give it a 0.
The only suspense that like I had was the brief second that he comes in after he deletes Greg.
Oh
And-
yeah,
And he's like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on because it's a little suspenseful there where you're like, does she recognize him?
and
What is-
she's like, I don't know, my boyfriend is supposed to take me out.
yeah,
And then he was like, your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Like, am I your boyfriend?
right.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, I'll give it a 0.5 for that.
yeah.
It's a 0 for me.
0 for Dylan. 0.5 for me. 0 for Dylan. Great. Okay. Camp. Pretty
That's a
campy.
5. This is it's
Such a
stupidly
campy. So stupid.
It's like
Cereal Man.
Cereal Man.
Cereal Man.
Julius
Cereal Man.
Caesar.
Caesar salads aren't like tiny little bits like that. Cobb salad is.
Cobb salad
Why are we
is
talking
like
about
that.
salad?
It's not wrong. Cobb salad is like that. Oh boy. Yeah, it's
Dylan,
a
you-
5.
A 5 for you. 5 for me.
I'm gonna say 4.5.
What? Mark. Dylan, you got a very Jake Johnson vibe going on right now.
That is
Do I?
that is a compliment.
Thank
with
you.
that hair.
I would
and
never
the
say that to my own brother.
Thank you.
5 o'clock shadow and
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My brother would be like, "What are you talking about, dumbass?"
I see it now. I see it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
got the Jake
compliment.
Johnson
I'll take
vibe
it.
going on.
That's my version of an ideal man. So calm down, boys.
Yeah.
now you gotta make our podcast as popular as his. Have fun.
I mean, if I put in the work that he puts in to make it a popular podcast, then it would be. I think.
Steaks.
Stakes are high. Very
Stakes
romantic.
are high for Gordon.
Big
Yeah, very-
emotional stakes here.
Emotional stakes are high. Yeah, I'd say like 3.5.
That's where my brain was going. 3.5. It seems like pretty
3.5.
average. It's not over the top, but it's there are stakes.
3.5 and 3.5. All right. Computer, what's our final score? 2.88 repeating. So 2.89.
Love it. That's above average.
Yeah.
I would call this episode above average.
Yeah.
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 I
It was a
think
great
it'll-
holodeck episode.
I think it'll be a good it'll hold its own in next year's Par March Madness.
Are we including Orville episodes in Par March Madness?
I think
I
we
think
should.
Do we want to include them
didn't
in
we
wild
just-
cards?
Yeah, didn't we decide that the wild cards will include non-Star Trek shows?
We can.
Yeah.
You just need to put a note by it that says we will include it because I will not remember when setting up the bracket next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this one's gonna go far
We can decide
next year.
once. Yeah. So. Cool.
Cool.
We did it.
Great
Great episode.
stuff, guys.
We recorded an app. And we did it.
Yeah, we did. Thanks everyone for listening. If you enjoy the pod, I know we're not doing it as regular, but if you enjoy the pod and you like talking about Star Trek or Orville or anything pop culture related, we do have a Discord that you can hop in and make some friends in there. And you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter and all the social medias.
Yeah. Intro and outro music is provided by the artist Bodyline using permission from the Midwest Collective.
The computer voice was provided by Verona Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, even more now that Paramount has turned into a,
The Borg.
I truly, the font change.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
the
One of the
decline
most
of graphic
iconic fonts in Hollywood, and
And
it's just
It dawned on me what they were doing. I understand it now, but I fucking hate it.
What were they
Took the
doing?
font from Skydance, the company that Ellison is merging.
oh,
They took that font and put it on the Paramount
Keep
name.
See, here's the deal.
No.
Like, I get you
Yes.
don't want to get rid of the mountains because the mountain, like the Paramount.
The
that's a
mountain,
very,
yeah.
Like,
Keep the
I mean, I
mountains.
get that, but like, if you're gonna keep one thing, maybe keep the font.
Also, if maybe don't fuck Skydance.
I know.
What?
put Skydance like replace the stars with Skydance or
Looks
something,
like a little
or
thing.
like
yeah, fucking
Or
maniacs.
Just say Paramount Skydance or something like
Yeah.
that. You know. It's like-
sure, yeah, Paramount in the letters and then Skydance underneath. Like you
Yeah.
can do it. There's ways to do it without ruining.
It's
The Paramount
disgusting.
is so iconic. It's just ridiculous. Ugh.
Well,
it is worse than Warner Discovery. The Warner
which
Discovery logo. is
some
pretty
fun
bad.
some fun news now that I
Thanks for that, Bigfoot.
all of this to be said. Leave us alone, Paramount, Viacom, whatever the fuck you are now. We're just a fan podcast. But did you guys see that Warner Brothers and Discovery
Are breaking up.
are
Are they
are
really?
gonna break up, and Discovery is gonna be like the cable space, and Warner Brothers is gonna be like streaming and movies space, which is so funny to me.
I saw somebody who was like, "Why doesn't Discovery focus on like reality and like nature content, and Warner Brothers and HBO focus on like quality television, blah 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 content?" And they're like, "You mean like it was before? Like, why are you doing it this way? You're so stupid."
Is the asshole guy gonna be the head of both of them still?
Zaslav, probably.
Yeah.
Zaslav.
But it's incredible. They really the past like 10 years have just been watching rich people try to reinvent the wheel and then figure out that it doesn't work and then go back to what was working before, and enrich themselves in the process, and it's so frustrating.
Right. It's just like them like passing things around, like passing a DVD around to their buddies. Like that's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's, like to them, the money that they're spending, they don't care. Like
It's so frustrating.
they really don't fucking care.
In other news, go watch The Acolyte. Manny Jacinto gets naked in it.
Who's naked in it?
Manny Jacinto.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Star Wars isn't just Hayden Christensen breathing heavily shirtless anymore.
Is that show good? It does not look good. I gotta be honest.
No, it was review bombed by angry
I know
Star
that.
Wars fans with a lightsaber up their butt. It
know
is amazing. I loved it.
Okay. I was saying it looked bad because it legitimately looked bad in the trailers.
No, it
not
has some of the
because-
best lightsaber fighting since Episode 3.
Cool. I'm in.
Yes.
That's dope.
I'll watch
I
some
love
of
that. Real quick, we forgot to shout out our podcast studio. Studio? Is that right?
Network?
Indie
Conglomerate.
Source Network.
Conglomerate?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indie Source is a
Indie Source.
conglomerate, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
they're big conglomerate.
Go listen to Indie Source stuff. It's good shit.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it.
Computer and program.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.